Hey there, this is section 4.3. So we're going to do problems 36 to 44 from section 4.3. They're to find x, and some of these are a little confusing because they pick some weird numbers. So I'm going to work them, and I want you to make a guess on some of these. So problem number 36. Well, I have no idea. So let's change it from a log to an exponent. And you should have practiced this already. Always start with the base. The base is the little number here. So that's going to be 3. Go over the equal sign as a -2. Equals, come back, is an x. Three to the -2 equals x. 3 to the -2 equals x. So just do 3 to the -2 on your calculator. Or if you know about negative exponents, you ignore the negative, you do 3 squared, and then you flip it. 3 squared is 9, and you flip it, and you get 1/9. But you can then check that on your calculator by doing 3 to the -2. You can't do this one on your calculator because there's an x right there. This one you can do on your calculator because the x is by itself. If the x is inside, you can't do it directly on the calculator. But I want you to make a guess. How many 5s does it take to get 125? 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. When do you get to 125? 1 5 is 5. 2 5s is 25. 3 5s is 125. So x equals 125. And now you could check it on your calculator. Now, if you made a guess like 4 or 5, that's okay. And then when you check it, you'll get, oh, I wrote 125. The answer is supposed to be 3. Not paying attention. So this can go on your calculator. Those can be checked directly on your calculator. All right, what's my base? We just did this the other day. ln is called natural log, which is base e. Matter of fact, sometimes I like to write the e here because it helps me out. That's my base. So to change this to an exponent, it's e to the -1 equals x. So your answer is e to the -1. But there's another way you can write that. It's a negative exponent, so you could write it as 1 over e. And usually we like to leave it like that. But if you want the decimal answer, you could do that on your calculator and you would get 0.368. But usually we leave the answer, when it's e, we leave it in e. But if the directions say to give me a decimal, then just do it on your calculator. So you may want to practice that, just to make sure you know how to get both answers. All right, the next problem's over here. The x is here, so this can be done on the calculator. What's our base? E, but to do it on the calculator, you hit the ln button, and then you put 1 over e. But before you do it, let's make a guess. How many e's does it take to get 1 over e? It only takes 1, but it's upside down, so the answer is going to be 1 over e. So it's going to be -1. Let's check that one on our calculator. Let's do ln. Your ln button's up here in the corner, underneath the regular log button. And it says ln. Now we put parentheses 1. I'm going to make it a fraction. top and an E on bottom. To get the E, I'm going to have to hit alpha E, parentheses, and you get -1. This one can be done in your calculator. Let's think about it for a second. How many 4s does it take to get a 2? You could say half, and that happens to work, but that's not the way we're supposed to do it. What's another way to go from 4 to 2? What can you do to 4 to get a 2? You could cut it in half, but I don't want that one. You could square root the 4. And what's the exponent for square root? You have to memorize this. Square root means an exponent of 1/2. The answer to this problem is 1/2. And this could be checked on your calculator. So, this means you have 2 4s. 2 4s will make a what? 4 times 4 is 16. Now, how could you check this? You could, on your calculator, go log base 4 of 16 and see if you really do get a 2. We need 3 of something to get 1,000. How about 5? No, 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. Well, they're all zeros. So it's going to be 10. How would I check it? I would go log base 10 of 1,000 equals 3. Now, when it's base 10, you can actually use this button. The LOG, that's for base 10. Or you could use this one and put a 10 in the little box there. You save one keystroke by using this one, so it doesn't matter. All right. We need this one. Since you knew this answer, this one should be easy. We have 2 of something to get 25. Make your guess and check it on your calculator. And it's 5. It takes 2 5s to get 25. So if you check on your calculator, you put log, you'd put a 5 there and a 25 there, and see if you get a 2 on your calculator. Next one. Let's change this. My base is x raised to the 1/2 power equals 6. Don't forget what 1/2 power means. It means square root. I'm going to adjust my angle here so we can see the bottom better. It means square root. So the square root of what is 6? And the answer is 36. To check it, you would do log base 36 of 6 and see if you get a half. If you're doing all this, you should do okay. If you're just watching and listening and not working any of them, you probably will fail. Okay, now that you knew this one, try this one, because they're the same, just the different numbers. All right, it's x to the 1/3 equals 3. X to the 1/3 equals 3. To get rid of the 1/3, you have to cube both sides. So you have to cube this and cube this. The 1/3 and the 3 cancel, and 3 cubed is 27. That was a bit tricky. All right, I want you to try. I did the even ones in this section. So you can go back and do the odd, and the answers are in the back, and may have to work them 2 or 3 times until you get them right.